There once were two brothers who lived in a village far from here. They were best friends and did everything together. They helped each other with their work in the field and were always there for each other. Their parents were very proud of them and loved to watch them play together as kids. One day when they were just about to go out to play, their father called them over and said, "You two are the best sons a man could ask for, and we're so happy that you love and care for each other. We only have one request." The brothers said, "Anything, father, you only need to ask." Their father said, "When we die, we want you to stay close and keep taking care of each other." The brothers promised their father that they would always look after each other, and their father died with a smile on his face, knowing that his sons would be fine in the future. Sadly, their mother died a few years later too. In her will, she left them a valuable piece of land that they could split between them. It was a beautiful piece of land with lots of fruit trees and fresh water running through it. Although the brothers had promised their father they'd always take care of each other, greed took over and they turned against each other, wanting all the land for themselves. They argued every day, but their arguments never led anywhere. So they decided to go to court. The judge listened to both sides of the story and wanted to give them a fair verdict. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't decide who deserved the land more. He thought long and hard about it and eventually came up with a solution. He said, "I can't decide who gets the land, so I say you both get it, but only if you dig a trench around the whole land." They agreed to this solution because neither of them wanted to leave empty-handed. They went home and came back the next day with shovels in hand ready to dig. However, halfway through digging, they realized it would take too long and they'd never finish in time. So they sat down under a tree catching their breath. The older brother said, "Look, we'll never finish at this rate and we don't have enough food and water to last us that long. Let's just go home and come back tomorrow and continue then." The younger brother agreed and they went home that night. When they woke up the next morning, they went back to the land, but they continued arguing instead of digging. Again, they got tired and hungry and sat down under the same tree. The older brother said, "Why don't we do this? Let's flip a coin to see who digs the trench. Whoever loses has to give up and let the other have the whole land." The younger brother didn't want to lose the land, but he knew they wouldn't finish in time, so he agreed. However, when it was time to flip the coin, the older brother said, "Wait, I think we should make it harder. If you win, not only do you get the land, but I'll also give you my share of the land too." The younger brother thought this was a good idea, and the older brother went ahead and flipped the coin. It landed on heads. The older brother said, "See, I told you it would be heads," but the younger brother shook his head. "No, it's tails." They started to argue again, and their voices grew louder and louder until the judge heard them and walked over to see what was going on. He asked them why they were arguing, and they explained the situation to him. The judge thought for a moment and then said, "Let me make it easier for you. Instead of flipping a coin, why don't you just dig around the land and meet back here in the middle? If you meet in the middle, you both get the land. But if one of you reaches the end first, that person gets all of it." The brothers liked this idea and ran off to start digging. As they dug, they kept glancing over at each other to see how much of the land they had covered. They tried to dig as fast as they could, but as time passed, they got tired and thirsty and eventually stopped to catch their breath. Then they noticed something. Although they had been digging against each other, they were slowly getting closer and closer together. They looked at each other and realized they had been so busy trying to win all the land for themselves that they forgot about their brotherhood. The older brother said, "I'm sorry I haven't been a good brother to you. All I have ever wanted is to take care of you, and you know that. But somehow we've forgotten about that and are now fighting instead." The younger brother apologized too, and they promised to never do this again. They grabbed their shovels and continued digging until they met in the middle just as the sun was setting. As they embraced, they knew no amount of land was worth losing their brotherhood. From that day on, they worked side by side and shared everything equally. They were happier doing this than they would have been if one of them had gotten all the land. And that is the story of brothers divided by land. Now it's time for bed. You can share this story with others to help them see how greed can sometimes hurt us without us realizing it. But if we apologize and work hard to fix our mistakes, those we've hurt will usually forgive us. Did you like this story? Let us know in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any new stories in the future. See you next time.